Hey guys, so we're back. This is Laura with FierrogirlsADV. Lisa's with me. So I knew the word eliminator was in there somewhere. It's not a tail light eliminator, it's the fender eliminator, but
Tidy tail.
a tidy tail, some people call it. So we're going to take this apart and show you guys how to do this. We've already done Lisa's, so we definitely, so these are the parts that come in. This is like the bracket that will go in there. And this attachments for the license plate.
Holds the tail lights and the license plate. Comes with all the bolts you need. It comes with the little shrinky dink wire solder connectors, which are really nice. We've used them before.
So if you don't have a heat gun, we use one from Harbor Freight and it totally works fine. We go to Harbor Freight
Nice
a lot.
little LED light to illuminate your
License plate.
And it comes with a nice little metal license plate.
Yeah, and that's a nice thing. Look at that. It's metal. It's not some cheap piece of plastic, so that's cool. So it does come with instructions, but Lisa's philosophy usually is instructions are overrated. So, and like I said, we already did Lisa's, so we'll see if we can remember, and cool stickers. All right, the first thing we got to do is take this thing off. And Lisa, you did that last time. How do we get it off? So you just push them. Oh, they're those kind. Okay.
But you might want to show that that's where they are.
Okay. So, all right. So there are these little push tabs right underneath.
You got to push the center.
And you got to push the center.
And then they can come out. But I'll need a little flathead for that.
So sorry if that was a terrible angle, but so you guys will notice those as you're doing.
Once you push the release in, you just use a little flathead to get it out.
Hold on.
The other one under your chair.
I think you took them both out already.
Yeah, one of them's underneath your chair.
Okay.
I don't remember where the other bolt is. There's that screw.
Okay.
And then this dust cover thing should come off. You have to take this dust cover thing off to get to the wires. Okay, dust cover off. Okay, now you can see all the bolts that hold it up. Right there. I don't know if they're 10s or 8s, but looks like they are 10s. Okay, so now we can take this off. It kind of has two little plastic clips. I think I just broke one of the little plastic clips. I'm sorry.
She did, but that's all right.
So you'll notice that the red and green one go to the left, and the blue with the green ground go to the right. So blue right, orange left. We didn't remember to look at that last time, so we had to figure it out. It'd probably be easier if you did this because my hand's messed up.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I remember this one was a little tricky to get in here too because you don't want to bust any of this tabs up either. So I think we need a flathead to get in there and pull this off.
That's not Okay,
so let me show them what happened here. So
once you get off that tab, you're able to get to this little guy here.
Because that slid right on that little metal part.
that I'm not strong enough to do. This one is the one that releases it from there.
There you go. That was easier. Sorry we didn't show that in once again. Could have been a zoom in, but that's all right.
Okay, so now we have to get the lights off. You'll see there's little screws.
We're going very fast.
Let's take the license plate off so I can see what I'm doing.
This should be pretty loose. Yeah.
Okay, let's not lose those bolts.
Here.
We got this little rubber tray to help us not lose our bolts.
Yeah.
In case we get tired of having to replace everything.
Yeah. So there's these cool grip mats. You can look them up online. They're pretty cool. Hold your tools and bolts and
They're
stuff.
kind of expensive, but obviously they last forever.
Yeah.
Okay. So that bolt's holding this big plastic piece on. I'm not positive we have to have it off to do this, but I think it does make it easier to get to. Yeah, the light bulb. That's just the Phillips there. If we take this wheel off, we'll be able to get to. The other ones are hidden behind the reflector.
Yeah.
I'm going to break the reflector. Here's. Thought I'd take one more look before I got destructive. And it's a good thing I did, because there's just one screw holding on that reflector.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not usually accident prone, but sometimes it happens. That's my super fancy fast. I guess I could have gotten the impact thing and we could have spun those out fast.
Yeah.
Okay, so that gets rid of that metal piece. And then it's just easier to get to these wires. So the tail light wires, they're kind of just coursed around. We don't really care about the thing that goes to the light for the license plate, just the turn signals. So I'm going to kind of take that out from around there so I can get to these little 8mm screws. They're kind of being jerks. Let's try a little 8mm socket. I don't have especially strong hands, and sometimes it's inconvenient. Okay, so I just need to break the seal a little bit. Okay, so that holds on the tail light.
And that's held in. There's a rubber grommet as well as a like metal one, so you just kind of have to work it out of there gently.
So we'll pull the metal thing out, and then there'll be more room for the wires to pass through. There you go. And that passes right through. We'll hold on to that tail light. We're going to need that. We're going to need this little rubber thing. If you peel this back, it'll kind of push through. Okay, so repeat the process on this side.
And if you do ever take the front plastics apart, the front turn signals come off exactly the same way. There's the grommet, there's the metal one that's in there. So it's the same thing.
That's the old stuff. Don't need the old stuff. We have our new stuff. Okay, so this is going to go boop, right there. And this little guy, boop, right there. So we're going to pass the wires through here. This is our little light for a license plate because we like to stay legal. Tickets are no fun for anyone. Okay, just pass it through just like that. Comes with all the screws you need. So for my little screws, and there they are.
What are those, a plus?
Phillips head. Oh shit, I lied. Yeah, we have our other kit from Harbor Freight that we use all the time. Okay, so that one is a 2.5 millimeter. This is plastic, but it screws into a little metal insert, so I'm not too worried about damaging it, but it is just brass, so I don't want to get crazy. Okay, now the next step. We have to wire this so that we can plug into these guys. Now we do that by stealing our connector from the old one. Where's my instructions? I don't remember if I stole it, if I stole it, if we just wired it in. Let's look at the instructions because I don't want to screw up the wiring. Boom, 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 boom.
I remember you cut something last time.
Yeah, I think I cut this and then we wired it into there. Red to black, black to green.
Okay. And then she always leaves a little extra in case you need it.
I'll just stick this back in here so it's not lost. Okay, let's strip that little sucker. Didn't choose wisely. Ta-da! Found the right size. Okay, so get the rubber off there, insulator off there, and twist that little sucker up. We have a cool little handy solder connectors. These are great. We discovered these last year, and boy, it helps. Okay, so on the new one, the black is the ground. On the old one, the green is the ground, which is a little confusing because the black is the hot on the old one. So I'm going to kind of twist that together a little bit to hopefully get it to start its little seal.
Now, before we do anything further, hold on. I want to dry fit this because remember last time we wanted everything going through the hole or something like that, so that
Right. Okay, so I'll put that through.
Yeah. So make sure you put everything through the hole on the bracket.
Because it's going to match up with this hole.
Yeah, it's going to match up down there.
And it's just, I mean, we didn't do it on mine, it still works fine, but it will look nicer.
Yeah, it'll be nice and flush against the fender then. So see, let's see how that works.
Well, if I still had that snap, I could snap it in place.
Yeah, there we go. So that's essentially how it's going to go. And that will get bolted in, so even though that plastic got broken off, it's okay. So yeah, make sure you get that through the hole, and I will... So...
To hold it up.
There we go.
Okay.
Okay, now you're good.
Now back to where I was.
Yeah.
Okay. Red, black. And this is going to be soldered together with this little heat shrink, so it's not really that important that you get it real tight, but I don't want it moving around too much until we get it soldered. Eesh. I think I cut that back before because it was such a tight.
So all this dust shield you may have to trim back just because
It doesn't leave a whole lot of wire for you to play with.
and you might want to get better scissors.
Yeah, these suck. Where did I get these? I need to get better scissors. Work. Oh yeah, look at that. Woo! I'm like superstar. I'm dropping my pieces.
So don't worry about all this getting exposed because the nice thing is that it does have that hole that it can go.
It tucks into.
And it tucks in, which makes this a really nice and neat system.
So back to where I was. So green is ground, red is, so my black is the hot. That was smart.
Oh.
It was in my mouth.
Make sure you have your soldering tube, whatever it's called.
You will notice that we don't really know the real names for things.
I just make things up as I go.
Because, well, you know, life is short. I don't have time for that. Okay, so you put this on. The solder part you want right over the wire. And the only hard part is trying to make sure the wires don't try to come apart while you do that. Okay, so that's in place. Now you get your handy dandy Harbor Freight heat gun, or, you know, something fancy, more expensive, but this is what we have, so this is what we're using. I don't want to direct it at the bike because the bike is super plastic and it is very hot. So I'm just going to try to point it at the wires. You see it shrinks up. These little plastic things will seal right to the wire insulator. And as it heats up, the solder will get hot enough to melt. I gotta go towards you.
That's fine.
The solder's starting to shrink up now and spread out over the wires. It's like the coolest thing ever.
Makes things a lot easier for sure.
I'm just trying to see if there's solder. The solder thing did shrink, but I'm trying to make sure it actually spread out over the wires, and it's kind of hard to tell. Can you tell?
It doesn't look very melty. It usually looks a lot more melty than that.
Okay, let me do it some more. I just don't want to shrink the wires.
Yeah,
I don't want to melt your wires
it's
stuff.
hard to hold because
It's hot. It's so very hot.
you have that just on the lowest setting.
No, that's the high setting.
Okay, that is the high setting.
I feel like I can see solder here, so it is melted.
Okay. Yeah, I just saw some.
Okay, so like this is even smaller now, and it's definitely spread out.
Yeah.
So that's how we want it. So where's my other little solder thing? Here's my little solder thing. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. And it gets kind of soft and mushy, so don't pull on it while it's still warm. When it cools off, it'll cool off and be like strong and stiff. But if you try to mess with it too much when it's hot and soft, it'll rip. Okay, got our grounds together. Get a little solder in place. Boop, boop. And here we go again. there's our wiring. We now have a license plate light. And that's the only part that you have to do that little solder thing with. As you can see, it pushes up into the hole. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and secure this now.
Okay. And we're going to put the she's going to put the 4 bolts back where those 4 were previously.
It's really nice because it works with the stock holes and you don't have to get crazy drilling or putting in weird stuff. So our next part is the lights. So we've got these little brackets that will go back here, and the bolts will be combination license plate holder and taillight holder. So we're going to feed these little guys through.
Is your metal part off of that?
What middle part?
Oh, let me see.
Oh, that reminds me. I have to make sure the middle part's going to end up in the right spot. I'm glad you said that. Okay, so I'll just kind of put that in there and so I know where it goes. Put that, and then we'll dry fit my little light. Yeah, so it's gonna have to go like that. Boop.
Okay. And then what color wires are those? Those are the green and the...
Blue goes on the right, orange goes on the left.
Okay.
Unless I'm mistaken.
No, I think that...
You never know.
I think that was the right way you said it.
This is the left one.
Okay. Oh, here's the other one.
Okay, so you see the rubber? It's small on one end. The small end is going to go towards the front of the bike because that's the small end of the light.
Okay, you're moving around too much. Show that again.
Okay. Small end of the rubber, small end of the light. You want the lights facing back, so the small end has to be facing the front of the bike. Just something to keep in mind. Okay, so mine's in. So we can put my tail light on. And just left. Ow. Shoot. I'm going to pass those wires back through the hole. You'll notice that one of the wires is longer than the other just because you can't pass them through together, so it just makes sense to do it that way. Now they'll go through. Okay, once you get the wires in, then you can put the metal one on. And it goes around just like that. See that little, let me take it back off. That little metal post goes around the wires. And then just kind of push it in. Oops, I think I have your rubber.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Uh-oh, now I just got this one in.
Of course you did.
Well, you said the narrow part goes to the front.
Well, the reason I say that is because there's this little thing to drain fluid.
Yeah?
You would want that down, not up.
I don't know what you just said, but okay.
If it's up, it'll allow water to pass in when it's really meant to allow moisture out.
On installs, it usually takes me 2 or 3 times longer because I'm always
I should have
doing
looked at
things
it
wrong.
closer before, but there's like a little rubber channel you can see here. And I'm sure that's to allow moisture to flow down. If you have it up, it would allow moisture to flow in. So we want it to flow out. So we're going to change that because I don't want to worry about it later.
Okay, so the fat part goes on the outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see.
But pass the thin part because that's easier.
Yeah. Gotta do this again. So still skinny part towards the front. And this thick rubber part goes on the outside. And make sure the channel part is pointed down.
Okay, so I got my light on, wires through, metal piece in the rubber. Now I just need to find my little bolt again. A little 8mm one. There it is. It's pretty long. And that goes in, screws to the light, holds everything secure. Okay, that's nice and snug. She's ready. Let me find my wires. Got my orange. You can hear that little click as it gets in place. I'm gonna make sure my little rubber pieces overlap so that they keep moisture out. And I need one of the grounds. Push again to another little click, and that's in place. Okay, so this side's in. So I'm going to need my bolt, but I'll wait till Laura's ready because we'll need to do that. Okay, so it comes with 4 screws for the license plate. 2 of them are longer than the others. The longer ones are going to go in the top part. Use a 4mm hex key or Allen wrench to fasten those.
Something wrong here.
And a cool little metal license plate cover.
I think I did it wrong. What did I do wrong?
Oh, here, let me see.
Help me fix things that I've put on backwards or upside down or broke while I was fixing it. Broke more. Okay. Alright. Once again, these have to be snug. You don't want to like crank it crazy. Okay, I think I'm good. That looks good.
Okay, so now we have our little license plate. So you have, use the long screws in the top.
Plug mine in. Go ahead. Is green
Because
to green,
we're going
right?
to use this, yeah. Green is ground. We're going to use this bracket. So it's dual purpose. Holds the license plate on and holds the turn signal in place. We have these nice little nylon lock bolts they gave us, so you don't have to worry about a lock washer. They did include washers, and they're a bit tight to fit, we noticed last time around. So, here's wishing me luck. Ah.
Just gonna hold mine while she gets hers in.
Okay, so I got that started. Here's your long one.
Is that my long one?
That's
You
your
look so short.
Where's the other long one at? That's the long one. These are too short. Oh, okay. I don't know. Trust me. Okay, and then is there a washer or something in the back you said? Yeah. There's a washer. Okay.
You probably can't see shit, but it's pretty tight. There's not a whole lot of extra.
Oops.
There goes the washer.
Yep, that happens to me a lot. I need a thing or whatever bolt thingy that
It's in my hand.
Okay. Hold on, let me get this. Okay. All right, I got it on there enough. Here,
I
let me
mean,
see that.
it seems like it's too short, but once you get it started,
Oh, here, I'm pointing the wrong way.
no, was it?
I was.
Once you get it started, it does snug up and have plenty of room to be snug.
tighten that real good in there.
And the metal they use for the mounting bracket stuff is nice and sturdy. It's not like flexible,
Flimsy
cheap
something. Yeah.
metal. It's nice and sturdy. Okay, so that's plenty tight. Yeah. So now all these loose wires, you can kind of push them up in there.
Yeah.
I probably should use my good hand instead of my hurt hand. Get in there. And then that kind of cleans it all up, and you don't have to worry about the wires getting caught on anything. Ta-da!
Okay.
Tidy tail.
There you go. So
10 millimeter, 4 millimeter, 8 millimeter, and a Phillips.
okay.
That's what you need.
All right. So there you go.
And a heat gun.
And a heat gun. All right. Stay tuned for our next exciting video. I promise it will be even better.